Greetings on this Holy Saturday, the church calendar day that lands between Good Friday and Resurrection Sunday. Let us begin this short meditation by praying the Lord's Prayer together. Please join me. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. So some of you may be wondering, because maybe it's not part of your tradition, commemorating this day, Holy Saturday. Some of you may be wondering, what is so special about Holy Saturday? Why do we call it holy? What are traditional practices that take place on this day? Well, all those are very, very good questions. What I find most important, or one of the more important things to do on Holy Saturday, is to remember what's going on at this point in the story of the Gospels. All of Holy Week walks us through the passion of Jesus, the death and crucifixion of Jesus, like we talked about yesterday on Good Friday. And here today on Holy Saturday, we remember the day that was in between, a very unique and challenging day. So as you recall from what I told you yesterday, Good Friday reminds us of the crucifixion and death of Jesus. Well, that took place on the eve of the Jewish Sabbath, a day where there was no work, and included in that no work command was not to do anything regarding burial for someone who had died. So when Jesus died on Friday, he was laid in a tomb, but the preparations of his body were not complete because of the Sabbath. And so they closed up the tomb, they left his body there, and they expected to return on Sunday, following the Sabbath day, in order to complete the preparations of honoring his body. The thing that I like to reflect on, or I find most profound, is to imagine myself in the shoes of the disciples, of all these followers of Jesus who watched him die, who were a part of seeing his body put in a tomb. They had believed so many things about what he had come to do, that he was the King of Kings, that he was going to liberate Israel from Roman rule, and all these other profound truths. And they expected so much that to see him die was a tremendous shock and trauma. They didn't know what to think. They didn't know what to do. I imagine that if I were in their shoes, I would feel tremendous loss, grief, emotional collapse, despair, hopelessness, fear, questions like, they killed Jesus, are they going to come kill me too? If we just take a few minutes even to imagine what this day must have been like for those first followers of Jesus, it must have been a very difficult day, a very challenging day, a very sad and grievous day. For centuries, this day has been a day to enter into silence, because there's a very somber, quiet silence that comes between the violence of Good Friday and the celebration of Easter Sunday. So for many followers of Jesus, for many Christians of many traditions over the centuries, this day has been a day to enter into quiet spaces, spaces of reflection and meditation, candlelight vigils, opportunities to meditate, to reflect not only on the death of Jesus that happened the day before, but on the experience of his disciples on this day in between. And so, one of the things that I find most encouraging, you might find that difficult to find something encouraging about this day, but what I find most encouraging is that the church has a day set aside for in-between spaces. Holy Saturday is a day devoted to those ambiguous in-between spaces. Sometimes we find ourselves in spaces like this. We're between jobs. We're having lost one thing and we're not yet to the next thing. We are in between. We suffer from doubt and uncertainty and fear. These are things that many of us could say, yeah, we've experienced those somewhere along the line in life. And the church calendar year has a day set aside to remember that those days are part of our human experience. And yet, that even though those are part of human experience, we can take encouragement from the fact that God walks through those with us. That we're not really alone when we feel and experience those kinds of things. So that I take encouragement from the fact that that's what Holy Saturday is for, is recognizing that there are in-between spaces of doubt and gray and uncertainty and fear. That God honors that space with a day like today. So there are some spiritual practices that I want to invite you to consider for the remainder of this day. Maybe for some of you, entering into just a few moments of silence where you wait in expectation of God speaking, where you practice silence to empathize and imagine what it would have been like to be one of the first disciples after Jesus' death. Maybe you want to light a candle, a vigil, a prayerful vigil, as you expect the joy of Sunday morning, but you still live in that space in between. For others of you, this might be a natural day to practice lament, to write out the things that grieve you, the things that scare you, the things that are difficult and challenging in your life. For others of you, this may be a natural day to meditate on loss and grief. Take some time to honor the feelings you have for people you have lost, for experiences of loss that involve jobs and economics and special aspects of your life that have come and gone. Allow yourself this time to grieve. The Christian faith tradition does not minimize these difficult challenges and experiences of life. It honors them, it acknowledges them, it names them. We have days set aside for these types of things that remind us annually, and this is one of them. Holy Saturday reminds us that God is with us even in the challenges of life, even in the dark places, even in the uncertainties and fears, even in the laments and grief. We are not alone. God walks with us through those as well. Well, my prayer for you this Holy Saturday is that you would take advantage of one of these practices or just utilize this time that we're sharing together as an opportunity to reflect on this day and recognize its importance for the church calendar year and for you and for your spiritual journey. We wait. That's what Holy Saturday is about, is the waiting. The disciples didn't know what was coming on Sunday morning, but we do know. Saturday is here, but Sunday is coming. And so we have hope, even in the midst of our grief and reflection, meditation and silence. I pray that you have a quiet and meditative Saturday, that you would take time to reflect. And I pray that you would join us tomorrow as we enter into the joy and the celebration of the empty tomb. It's the highest and most important day of the church calendar year, Resurrection Sunday. So I invite you to join us tomorrow morning at 9:30 as we celebrate the resurrection of Jesus. May you be blessed this Holy Saturday, and may you go in peace. Amen.